All right. Look like we touchdown live. Let me see. I think it's on. Should be on every site. Yep. I just seen the YouTube one say not live. Okay. So everything look like it's clicking off right. Uh, Let me see. What else going on? These things keep popping
Yeah,
up on my screen.
we on Facebook on the Thawed Live
All
on
right,
Thawed
cool,
Magazine
cool.
page.
That'll work. That'll work. I'm just go ahead and see if I can share that. I think Twitter should be on. So everything clicking right. Let's see. So far, so good. Yeah, you gotta let me see. Probably hold on for another second. Let's see, let it warm up. I see if any give him a little time first. Let's see if I can share something right quick. But everything in the day been going all right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just
No
typical
pipes, nothing
Saturday for
like that.
me.
No.
No, man. We
Yeah.
we good today.
Yeah. Good today. That's what's
Thankfully.
up. That's what's up. Man, I feel like
Man.
that same way. It's just that work was like, man, let me get up out this mud.
Right, right.
Yeah. We got two visits. I can't see. I don't know why when they gonna show it right away.
Yeah.
But we would like to thank y'all for coming in checking us out, man. We about to talk a little sports. We got on a little late, but that's my fault. Speeding down the highway. You rest in peace, my dog Daz. Pew.
Yes,
But
sir.
man, hope everybody doing good. Hope everybody doing good out there checking us out, man. We just gonna talk a little something. Jeff,
For
you
sure,
got
for
what
sure.
you got anything first to kick off?
Man, not a thing, man. Hopefully everybody out there got a few people on with us now. I think we got three or four so far. Uh,
Yeah,
Hopefully everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate the support. You know what I mean? Uh, Share the stream wherever you are, whether you're on YouTube,
no doubt.
Facebook, thought page, uh, wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in to us. We appreciate you. Share the page, man. Help us get a little bit more support out there, and we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm with you on that. Everything that Jeff said, I'm riding with it.
For sure, for sure.
For sure. But we kick it off on the first topic. It like I say, we said the same thing as share the live. Also, if you got something you want to talk about, man, we love sports. So go ahead and
Yep.
spit it out there. Just like Thawed Sports Talk, man. Go and talk your mess. Um, Facebook, I guess can't, you know, how you say, ban your page off this one.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk about start off by Jackson State, man. Jackson State, man.
Yeah, started good. Started off good. They
Yeah,
scored first, had a lot of energy, and then
yeah.
it kind of dipped after that. So went downhill
Wow.
pretty fast.
I think Shiloh, his son Shiloh Sanders intercept that ball, and I kind of was seeing the D. Oh, why they won't go off? I was seeing the Dion in him, but then he couldn't shake that. Dion wouldn't let that guy tackle him.
No,
He'd have took that to the house.
yeah,
But no, they rolled the energy. They was up 7-0. I was like, yeah, they riding okay. And when I tuned back, I say, man, come on.
yeah, yeah. It went downhill fast, man. That's one thing that I saw. They couldn't. Their offensive line couldn't protect, man. So his other son, I
Yeah,
think Shador, I think,
yeah.
who's the
I don't mean
quarterback.
to cut you
He
off, but I don't mean to cut you off, Jeff. We gotta give a shout out to Tabitha Lachelle Grace, man. We appreciate you with the comments, man. That's love. That's
appreciate you,
much love makes
appreciate you.
love. Appreciate you. But yeah, what you saying, Jeff?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's Shador. I think that's the quarterback. for
Yeah, yeah,
JSU. Yeah, he was
yeah.
under attack all day. He couldn't sit still. they was they was giving him
Man,
hell in whatever pocket was there for 1 or 2 seconds. Like they was
exactly.
pressure all day. So he was just scrambling, trying to scramble, trying to that I think that was pretty much how the game got away from him because they were just pressuring them. They couldn't do nothing. So
Yeah, yeah. And that you look at the records, it might fool you because I think they was 5-6. I know they had started
yeah,
out like
yeah.
1-4, and Jackson State was 11-1. So it
Hmm.
looked like it should have been an easy win if you just look at it and say, "Oh, by the records." But they had won 5 in a row,
Mm,
and they had a high-powered offense.
yeah.
So they Jackson State. I don't know if they was ready for them like that.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, yeah. So they couldn't win the Celebration Bowl like everybody was hoping for. I think a lot of people was kind of rooting for Deion Sanders. He just started back walking. Everybody, everything was aligned in their favor. They got the number one recruit, Travis. Everything was looking great for them. So when they went to the bowl game, it's like, okay, yeah, let's ride this momentum. It didn't go
ran
quite
ran
like they
into a
was hoping on
buzzsaw
that.
real quick.
Yeah. So shout
Yeah,
out, what I'm saying? But that's much love that ESPN I think covered it.
yeah.
HBCUs getting some love on a bowl, doing the bowls. And we need more love like that because HBCUs, people don't understand that the whole history of it. Some people
Right.
do, but before like the so-called major schools way back years ago was letting black athletes onto their teams, they was the main players black players was going to HBCUs.
Yep. Yep.
So you had like Jerry Rice at an HBCU, Walter Payton at an HBCU. You know what I'm saying? You had NFL athletes coming out of HBCUs that was going to the league and dominating, and you seen that drop off as more top tier black athletes was going to main schools where the HBCUs wasn't getting that talent.
Right. Right. Yeah. For a minute, before PWIs were the thing. Like to get some players, it was black college football was the thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
we were the top dog. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that they getting that publicity and that attention, man, and hopefully, you know what I mean. I ain't gonna go all the way, you know, left and say that it's gonna be a huge shift. You know what I
No,
mean?
it ain't gonna be,
It's
but it's a
but
dent.
it's a start. You know what I mean? I think that it could turn in a way to where it could be a viable option. um, you know,
Yeah.
it, black college football could come up a little bit. And once some TV contracts get in the mix, that's when it'll really jump off. You know what I mean? You
Oh
start to
yeah.
get some players that way. You start to get some more high profile coaches like Prime, um, like Eddie George, who's now coaching, Hugh Douglas. Uh,
Yeah.
you get some more high profile coaches there that know how to, recruit and raise money, then it'll shift. It'll shift a
Yeah.
good amount. The bigger
Yeah.
schools they'll always have an advantage money wise. You know what I mean? You talking about the bigger schools, your Texases, and you know what I mean that have $1 billion endowments. You know what I mean? They'll always be the
You
main
can't
draw.
stop them.
No, you
Yeah,
can't
you
stop
can't
that.
stop that wave.
Uh, but
It's too deep now.
if black colleges can raise a little bit more money and raise their profile, you'll see a nice little shift, and that's all
Yeah.
they
Oh
need.
yeah. But see that's where I feel like the money wise, because you got so many athletes. They people donate, of course, to their main college that they went to.
Right.
But if some of the main millionaires and big dogs of the sports, start donating to HBCUs a little more, even if you ain't go to school there, and be a sponsor
Yeah.
or just help out a little bit. Which I can't, I ain't gonna check nobody about their money. I don't. That ain't what we doing.
Right.
But
Right.
if they really about wanting to see them grow, you know, that would be one of the main possible ways is to donate some money, because right now, they depending more on attendance, and other kind of ways of bringing in money
Right.
that's
Right.
not gonna get them to that level
No.
quick enough.
Right. Right. Which I'm glad that the NLI thing is in the mix, because I think that's
Yeah.
gonna help shift it a little bit too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now what I mean, it's just gonna take some some vision and some creative thinking on their behalf. Like maybe you can't get the Nikes of the world in the mix, but
Yeah.
they'll probably have to think more locally and more statewide. You know what I mean? Like who are your major industries? You know what I mean? Like like pitch to them and let them be the big sponsors, and you know what I mean? Like they'll have to take a more regional, more statewide approach to building themselves up. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think once they do that, what I mean? I think now your Nikes and your they'll start to pay attention. Like, okay, they doing something down there. They
Oh
starting
yeah,
to
you
get
gotta get
a
their
lot more
attention.
attention. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they'll be the hot thing, or the next hot thing, and what I mean, maybe
Cause they
Nike
ride,
don't jump in first.
man,
Maybe
cause
what I mean, another one come in, Adidas, or what I mean,
they
you
ride the
know,
wave.
yeah, now it's
Yeah.
a copycat thing. Now, okay, Adidas down there. Okay, we not, they gonna come see what's going on down there, and you know
Yeah.
it'll be like a snowball effect.
Exactly. Exactly. So somebody gotta, I was giving love because I think that kind of hurt. I don't know if you had heard about, you probably had about Master P and his son. He took his son out of the HBCU. They transferred his oldest son, I think
Okay,
Percy,
yeah,
because he had got injured, and they was going back and forth. Him and the HBCU was going back and forth about, you know, adequate health care, or health, providing health for the
right,
athletes.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a good look, but Master P wasn't trying to hurt them. As far as that, he just was like, "Hey, we got to get more money into the HBCUs so they can have, you know, uh, the right health wise for these top
yeah,
artists. I mean, these top athletes."
right, right,
So the issue with that, when they went back and forth, the school came back and said, "Hey, you need to be more informed." We do, and they went back and forth. And Pete said, "Hey, man, we gonna sugarcoat this. We ain't gonna never get nowhere." So you got to respect that. He was like, we trying to help you. Let's but you can't sugarcoat us and say, "Hey, we good." No, you're not. You need more funding. You need to make sure that if you got the number one athlete in all the sports, and he come there and get a knee injury, that he ain't just going to the just
yeah,
a regular doctor out of
right.
nowhere.
You just running them to the ER.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
nah, you need a
Because he
whole.
go to
You know what I
Alabama,
mean?
they gonna get probably the number one doctor possible that they can ever get, to make sure that, hey, he got to make sure he all right.
Oh yeah, and that's an infrastructure thing. You know what I mean? Like at a major school, you know what I mean? Somebody get a knee injury, shit, they gonna have an MRI before halftime. You know what I mean? Like, they got the
And that's
MRI
what he was
machine in
alluding
the
to.
facility. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't even got to go to no hospital. Like, they got pretty
Exactly.
much got a hospital at the school. You know what I mean? Like, in the athletic facility. You know what I mean? They got pretty
Yeah.
much a hospital there where they can get all kind of X-rays, all kind of treatment. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, and that's the thing that's missing when you don't have the type of funding. You don't have the facility. You don't have the
And that's what he was
facilities.
talking about.
You know, and that's what's
And that's
that.
what he's talking about.
Yeah, and that's what has to change. uh, over time, hopefully, what I mean, you get some more money into that situation, and upgrade them facilities, actually have athletic facilities that has everything, that the student athletes need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you think of the major, universities, like you think of, even Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, whatever. You know what I mean? Like the athletes are in the athletic facility and they got everything that they need in the athletic facility. They only
They ain't
have
got
to
to go
go into
nowhere.
general population. They got a study table
Exactly.
there. They got tutors there. They got they got food. They got whole everything there. You know what I mean? Treatment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
rehab.
One
What
stop shop.
everything. Yeah,
One
they ain't got
stop
to leave the
shop.
athletic facility at all unless they want to.
Exactly. And that's where the HBCUs got to go, got to get to that level and not figure like, hey, we good. No, you got to keep reaching.
Right.
So, we got a couple viewers. If y'all got what y'all tell us what y'all think about this the HBCUs. We had Jackson State play today. And of course everybody knowing Dion. Um and what you feel can help the HBCUs
Right.
advance in the
Right.
sports, become a major player. Because right now in the college landscape, you got the Power Fives, and you got what they call the other one. They call them
Uh,
the one
uh,
Cincinnati in. They call them the some other five.
uh, Dang, I forget.
I forgot what the
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
can't think
Power
of it
Five.
offhand.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got the Power Five. Them the main ones that's gonna get to a bowl game, the big bowl games, the championships, and then you have um the other five, which is Cincinnati. They fighting to break history and be included in that championship picture, which they is right
right.
now. As long as
Group of
they
five.
don't lose
Group of
and
five.
they in
That's
the
what it is.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Uh
group of five. That's what it is.
Group of five. Yeah,
Yeah. Shout
appreciate
out
you,
to my
William
boy
Stuckey.
Stucky here. Shock. What up? What
Yeah,
up? What up?
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we got Shock say they have a whole bunch of guys transferring in. What you
They
mean, Shock?
do.
Who the
They talking about JSU.
HBCUs or?
You talking about JSU specifically? I know they
Oh,
showed it.
okay.
I believe on ESPN they put a whole graphic up. They had like 12 or 13 guys that are coming from major programs transferring to JSU, like guys from Indiana and I want to say I seen somebody from Texas, somebody
Yeah.
all of them are high D1 programs that are guys that are transferring in.
Okay.
Florida, I believe. So he raising the level of talent. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
so I know it ain't an overnight thing; it's a process. So, but
Exactly.
he at least his program he's got it trending in the right way. Maybe when he
Yeah.
raised the profile of the whole league, then other programs may be able to do the same thing. Uh,
Exactly.
I think that's
Yeah.
kind of
So
what
that
that's kind of what at the major level, in the Big Ten, you think of when when Urban Meyer came to Ohio State, you know what I mean, and he said that
he
he was like,
stepped up
hey, Big
recruiting.
Ten, y'all got to step up this recruiting, like we shouldn't be this low in the rankings, you know what I mean, he
Yeah.
wasn't really talking about
Hey,
necessarily the top 3 or 4. It's just kind of
hey,
5, 6,
hey,
7,
bro.
8, 9, bring them up. So
Hey, bro. Go ahead and kick it right quick. I gotta go take care of something right quick.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I got you.
Yeah. And I'll be back. Shock. Do you want to get online, man? Get online and talk your mess too, man. Uh, give me 1 second. I'll be right back, bro. Go ahead and keep on that same thought, and go ahead and run, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
All right.
Yep, yep. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. See, we got at least I think 6 people on live right now. Uh, appreciate y'all tuning in. What's on y'all mind? What's going on out there in the sports world with y'all? Um, Me and Jay Jack, we was just talking about JSU a little bit, getting into their game today. I know they lost pretty bad today. Ran into kind of a hot team, and they got them today. But just talking about the prospects of HBCU football going forward, and what they're trying to do, what they're trying to how they're trying to raise their profile. Um, you know, me personally, I love the thought of HBCUs trying to step their game up and get into some major money, into some major markets, maybe get some TV coverage. You know what I mean? Once them TV contracts come, that's when the big money comes. So hopefully, man, they can make it happen. But you know, they're gonna have the right leadership. They're gonna have to get some more high profile coaches in their league. At certain schools. I know, of course, you got Prime at JSU. I think Eddie George is in the league now. You got Hugh Douglas in the league. I believe Ty Wheatley is in the league as well. So they got some big names coming into the mix, man, and hopefully they keep that going. Get some more names at some different schools. Some guys that know how to coach, know how to recruit heavily. You know what I mean? To get a higher profile athlete, and also fundraise. That's a big part of. I know sports shows, major sports shows and stuff. They don't really talk about that much, as far as the coaches that schools choose. Make no mistake, make no mistake. When they choose a certain coach, you know what I mean. It's not just about what they're gonna do on the field. Like they put those coaches in front of boosters and donors, and you know what I mean. You got to have a certain profile when you're a high D1 coach. Um, you ain't just coaching football. When you off the field, you know what I mean. You got your athletic director and you got your boosters, and they got to show up to booster club events and sell the program. And you know what I mean. You need certain high profile individuals that can coach, can recruit, but also sell the program. You got to have those type of guys, you know what I mean, in HBCU football that can sell programs, that could get boosters on board to write them big checks and raise the profile of their programs. That's what's gonna really change how these programs are seen, because they're gonna have to get them big checks in there to get their facilities up to par. Like a lot of these HBCUs, man, their programs are okay, but you know what I mean. They're not on the level that D1 programs need to be. Like when you're a football program and you want to really play with the big boys, like your facilities have to be up to par. You know what I mean? Above par, really. You know what I mean? Like you got to have a state of the art stadium. You have to have state of the art athletic facility where your players can get everything they need in the athletic facility. They need to be, if they get hurt, they need to be able to rehab their injuries. You need to have, medical staff that is specifically assigned to athletics, so that your players can get the treatment that they need. That they can, they get hurt. You think of major programs, and it's kind of normal to us because we see it on TV and we really don't realize. You think of a Michigan, you think of a Ohio State, you think of a Penn State. Think of when we're watching the game and somebody gets hurt and they run them to the back, and they run them back to the locker room, and you know what I mean. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Think of the type of facilities they have to take somebody back there and give them an X-ray right away, or give them an MRI. Think of the cost of MRIs in your life. If I needed an MRI in my life, them things like $4,000-$5,000, man. Like it's not cheap. Like you need them type of facilities, you know what I mean, to properly assess your player. And all of that takes money. All of that takes money. Think of the type of facilities that folks need, that programs need like that. You get a guy that gets hurt on the field, and they run him back to the locker room, and now he needs a MRI. Well, at a Michigan, at a Wisconsin, at a USC, at a Washington, they could take him in the locker room. You know what I mean? He can get an MRI right then. they can shoot that right out to the media and say, yep, he got an MRI, it's negative. You know what I mean? You getting that in real time on a TV broadcast. Think of that. You know what I mean? It's normal to us. We used to getting that information like right now. Like cat get hurt on the field, they rush him off. You know what I mean? They cart him off or help him off, and now he, hey, he's such and such players going to the locker room. Like 20, 30 minutes later, you got a sideline reporter telling you what happened. Why is that?
Yeah.
Because they got the facilities that they can run them back there, give them an MRI, and they can get that information right to the media. You know what I mean? Like you got to have money in your programs for that. And I see my guy Jay Jack is back on. Uh,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you got to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
money in your program to have those type of facilities, so that what I mean. Those things matter. Those things matter. Think of a parent that's with their child going on a recruiting trip, and they looking at your facilities, and they like, okay, what do your medical facilities look like? What is your, what I mean, what is his academic, facilities going to look like? Where is he going to study? Where's the tutoring going to come from? Where at major institutions, they say, oh, all of that's right here. Just come to the athletic facility. Yep, they're gonna walk you through that whole athletic facility. Yeah, this is where the players study. Oh, this is where they can take a nap. Oh, this is where they eat. You know what I mean? We got 3 chefs right here. Okay, blah blah blah. You don't get that at HBCUs. You know what I mean? And that's
Uh,
that's kind of a
they got to
negative.
work on it.
So they got to work on
Yeah.
it. You got to work on
Yeah. Once they get all of that, they moving in the right direction. Like I say, when you think about, even like you said with Michigan State, people, when you think about the sports, everybody think kind of like those programs are just big enough to do that. No, they not. I don't care. Michigan ain't just big enough to keep doling out all this contracts and money and all. No, they got donors. You know, I think one of the biggest donors for Michigan is the Miami Dolphins owner, Ross. You
it. Yeah,
know, um, Michigan State wouldn't have that coach sign, Coach Tuck, my guy, wouldn't have him sign if it wasn't for Isbia and I can't think of his name offhand. The donors, $1 billion donors. You know what I'm saying? So HBCUs, they got some guys. I don't know about billionaires, but whoever those donors are that went to schools at these HBCUs, they got to be able to step up the same way, just from my point of view, as Ross. Because Ross, if Michigan needed, hey, this is what we need. He don't it. He had no thought. He giving it. You know what I'm saying? I think Ishbia, I think billionaire too. Michigan State,
yeah,
hey, we need help. You know, we might have to cut some funding on sports. What is it gonna take? It take this. It's on the way. You need that. And the
yeah,
HBCU, they need that. They need those guys that went to the NFL to say, hey, man, here, you know. And until that really just get to that point where they got like 5, 6 guys, millionaires or higher, that they can just say, hey, our facilities is struggling right now, or we need more doctors, or and they can say, how much you got in your funding for it? We only got so much this set aside for it, but we need this to, okay, say no more. There you go. Until you get that, HBCUs won't get on that total level. Uh, they'll probably never get on that level, but to keep continuing to grow, they gotta have those donors, those sponsors, those people that say, "Hey, go, man." You think about Michigan State, man. Sometimes just like Draymond Green, he check. You know, I don't know how
yep,
many HBCUs, but you hardly ever hear about it. Like, oh, he just gave the biggest that they ever had. You don't hear that, but you hear from State, you hear from Michigan, you hear from Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma. You gonna hear that donor. They done just named a library after him.
right, right.
So yeah, that's big. That's big.
It really
But
is. And I think part of that is, what I mean, like, guys with money like that ain't gonna throw their money at anything. So I think what
exactly.
else is not in play at HBCUs is the infrastructure so that somebody is actually selling the program and actually has the things in place that would make them okay with, okay, if I send this check, it's gonna, boom, 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 boom.
Where my
Like,
money going?
yeah, like
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
have money people in place. You got to have certain infrastructure in place
And you
so
got to
that they
trust the
know.
accountant.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's been a issue over the years with some HBCUs with some funny accounting.
Shady.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has to
yeah.
be, taken out of, they got to fix that too before they can
They gotta
even
fix
think
that.
about getting some, maybe that's why them donors ain't sending no money, right
There you
now
go. And
because
that's another part of the equation right there is that we all want to see HBCUs climb, but it's a reason that they struggled for so many years, and that's part of the reason is behind the scenes, money wise, and the handling, and making sure everything is accounted for and going right. For them, like you said, like Jeff said, if I'm gonna give you for an athlete, you say, hey, they gonna give you 2-3 million, man. Don't be doing nothing wrong with my money. And you
exactly.
don't want to have that. You don't want to have that thought in any. You want to get rid of any of that. So they gotta amend some fences.
Right, right, definitely. But I'm
Yeah,
rooting for them. Hopefully, man, they can you know, get their ducks in a row so they can
exactly.
start, actually, you know, picking things up, man, and raising their profile. And hopefully,
No doubt.
we'll see it. We'll see it happen in the next, hopefully, 4, 5, 6 years. You know what I mean? Because it ain't gonna be no
Yeah.
overnight thing. You know what I mean? It's gonna be,
Oh no,
it'll
no,
be
it ain't gonna be
gradual.
overnight.
It'll be gradual.
Yeah,
So hopefully they can do that.
yeah,
Uh, just peeking out here. See, we got 8 people on now.
man.
Appreciate
And
anybody
we
that just
appreciate
tuned
y'all.
in. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for coming and checking us out on Thawed Sports Talk Live.
No
Thank
doubt.
y'all for coming in. Uh, if you can share the stream to your Facebook or to your Twitter, wherever you're viewing us from, we appreciate it. Appreciate all the support thus far. Thank y'all for tuning in with us, checking us out, supporting us, man. We've been doing this, for a few Saturdays now. Uh, been getting a lot of great support. Uh, thank y'all for tuning in. Got
Yeah.
my Block M peeps on here. What up, Shot? What up, Stucky? Uh,
No doubt.
reaching out.
No
Waiting
doubt.
on my Laker
That
people
li-
to come
that,
on.
that kind of leads us. Who?
I'm
You
waiting
say
on my
for who?
Laker people to come on. Our
Oh
you know,
man. Hey, I was just thinking about them too, because I seen Anthony Davis hobbling off.
man,
Uh,
that dude's so
I was
brittle,
just thinking
man.
about Lakers, man.
That dude's so
And then
brittle,
they,
man.
man,
Mm,
bro, that's a great talent. He's a great talent, man. But the injury's been killing him. And
yeah,
I see they signed, or he had his first game, I think last night, Isaiah Thomas. So they got IT to
yeah,
come in
yeah,
because I think Westbrook had went in COVID protocols, but I think he out of it right now. I think he had went
yeah. I
in
want to
for
say
a
he
second.
played
So
last night. I think they played Minnesota. I think,
yeah, they
and I
lost
think he
bad. Well,
started.
no, they lost to Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I know
yeah.
I know them Laker fans hated that because you know D'Angelo Russell kind of, I think he had 17.
Yeah,
So he was doing his thing for Minnesota. I
yeah.
think they got a travel pack because they play all the former Lakers they got rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So if you're a Laker fan, man, don't take it personal. We just talking our talk. That's sports talk. Yeah.
Hey man, I should have kept them cats. I was uh I'm a big fan of Lonzo Ball. I never thought they should have got rid of him. But I
Yeah.
say that about most of the guys they got rid of. They got rid of all they young players that they could have built with.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess that's what you do when you're a major market team. You know what I mean? Like they get impatient. Like, okay, we'll ship all them guys off and go get a LeBron. We'll ship a couple more off and go get AD.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess
But
that's
but you
something
know
I don't
what? The trade
understand.
off,
But
yeah, and I don't either. But the trade off, I guess they gonna say is, hey, we won one with him, which was during the COVID year.
right,
Uh, and everything else been downhill ever since. And
right,
and when Brian say, hey man, that's it for me. That's it. Oh, you in a major rebuild. But it is the Lakers. They free agent city, you know.
right, right.
So I guess,
Yeah,
Laker
that's a
fans
good
ain't gonna
thing for
complain
them.
too much. Yeah, they ain't gonna
It's,
complain.
no, I mean, well, they will.
Well,
They
they
gonna
is.
complain.
I done seen some videos. They going crazy on some of them. I done
Yeah.
seen some guys spazzing.
Oh man, shit, they out
They do
there,
not like losing.
man. They out
Yeah,
there. Shout out to my boy Hashim Kelly. You know what I mean? They out
yeah,
there.
yeah, no doubt. No
You
doubt.
know, shoot, but we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a long season. We ain't even flipped the calendar yet, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe they can find a way to get it together. I still think they're gonna probably, if they in them bottom three and they have to face a top seed, I don't know. That might
Yeah,
spell
because
doom for them.
my main thing with the Lakers is, as far as me watching, is that, the whole league more younger, they
Yeah,
going this way, and the Lakers say, hey, we're gonna go that way,
right,
and it lasted for like what, it's been 2 years. But the more they going that way, the league is going that way. So
right,
you seeing them young guys come in and propelling their team, and you got to look as a Laker fan and say, hey man, we got Carmelo, 30 what, 5, somewhere in that range. You got Brian, you got Isaiah Thomas now, Westbrook. I think they got Dwight still,
yeah,
Anthony Davis. Man, they all close to retiring.
right.
So by the
Yeah,
time
they
you
got
try
their
to say, I'm gonna,
geriatric crew.
man, and that's the thing, is by the time you say, okay, we're gonna go back, we're gonna go where the league going, y'all gonna be so far behind because they gonna have all the young talent. And that's but you know what? I had to catch myself because that's what made me not like the Lakers.
Right, right.
Because soon as all them guys retire, here come who in the league going, just one of the main guys in the league gonna say, hey, I want to be a Laker now. And all of a sudden they're gonna be right back there.
Oh yeah, you probably get a Luca or somebody that uh,
Exactly.
one of the young up and coming stars, a couple of them maybe that say
Yeah.
they want the glitz and glamour of LA. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it goes for them.
That's
So
how it
that's
goes
why
for them. Why
they willing to mortgage off their future because they know they can bounce
they can
back
do that.
and yeah,
Yeah.
somebody a major star is gonna want to come their way. Somebody, and they
Somebody.
just they just gotta
And
wait
and
for it to
as a
happen.
Pistons fan, we can't do that. As a Pistons
Right?
fan, we
No,
don't know that feeling.
no, we ain't got no margin for error. Like we got to draft well.
Yeah.
We gotta hope our team is good enough for the cats we do get to want to stay. You know what I mean? Like so, it's a whole different
Exactly.
conversation for a small market team.
There you go. And speaking on the Pistons, I really didn't like that they lost to the Rockets. And I don't think, did Jalen Green even play?
I think he's still injured. I think.
I
Um,
know he was supposed to come back. I think he was supposed to come back a couple of days ago.
okay,
Uh
he might have been back.
yeah,
I totally missed the game. Uh, but yeah, I
no,
didn't I
he ain't
didn't
back.
like us losing it. I didn't like us losing to them either. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of resigned to us losing right now.
I mean, yeah,
uh,
you almost gotta just say, this is lost year. We gotta get somebody like Paolo from Duke or somebody, you know. It
yeah,
is some positives with Cade.
yeah,
I think Sadiq Bey, he just scored 20 as I see. So he done had two
yeah,
games straight back to back.
yeah. He
So
coming
it's
out
some
of this slump.
positives. Yeah, he done got out of his slump. I think he had 28 the game before.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had
He
20
went
today.
off. Hmm.
Yeah. So if he put it all together, because he's been trying to work more on a complete game than just being a
Yeah.
3-and-D type guy,
Right.
which I love that. I hated all them specialists that the league had over the years. He was either 3-and-D, scoring point guard, stretch 4,
Right. Right.
or he was a specialist. Now cats is back to being basketball players.
Right. Yeah. But I think Sadiq kind of benefiting from Grant being out because he now
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
plugging him
yeah,
in at the
yeah,
3. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they ain't
I
trying to
agree.
pigeonhole him at the 2 or or some type of stretch 4. You know what I mean? Like he playing his spot.
Yeah,
He playing his
yeah,
spot. So I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
helps too. Not only on
Oh
the
yeah,
court but
yeah.
just mentally. Like I'm a 3. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
playing my spot. I'm guarding who I'm
Plus
supposed to
mentally,
guard.
plus mentally, if you see it, like a lot of times when they get the Grant, everybody know, oh, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, the ball
He
stopping
finna
like a
shoot.
mug. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think that's just what it is for us this year. I think and that's a good thing. You get to just I think Casey just trying to look at what we got. Who gonna be there, who they gonna have to move, whatever. Playing different
yeah.
lineups. Trying to figure out the Killian thing. You know what I mean? Like they
Man,
I don't know. Like I've been kind of hopeful over his time. It's kind of changing a little bit for me because
but
like
and the
dog, you
crazy
got to
thing
come
about it
on, man.
is he's right now he our best 3-point shooter statistically. The thing is he don't want to shoot,
Yeah,
and that's a
and I don't.
problem.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's a mental thing for him too because he a point guard, but the ball got to
And
be
they
in
really
Cade's
got him
hands.
playing it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
like
really got him
ball got
playing
to
it
be in
too.
Cade's hands. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so that's probably a different thing for him too. Like he ain't the type of player that's going, that even wants to, spot up somewhere or, have to pick his
Mm-hmm.
spots in a different way. So
Yeah,
they're gonna
yeah.
have to make a decision, whether to move him, whether they can move him before the trade deadline or include him in a trade or, because of course now they're talking about Grant in trade rumors. So,
And that's gonna
do
be
you,
a tough one though, is to move him at like 20 years old. You know what I mean? But the problem, I think 20, yeah, I don't even think he's 21 yet, 20 years old.
nah,
The
nah,
problem though comes if he doesn't, if he getting up, they ain't gonna probably make a decision until he up for that second contract. And then you gotta decide has he performed to the point where you finna pay him first round money, as a second contract, because he's gonna
right,
demand more money in a still developmental stage,
right,
in a project
yeah.
stage.
Right. Now, obviously to this point, he ain't worked that. So, do you, do you just cut your losses and hey, you know what I mean? We've done it. We did it with Seiko, Dumboya.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
traded him on up out of there. Like they gave him a look for
yeah.
a minute. And then it was like, okay, well, this ain't this ain't gonna go. So
This ain't
then, he
working.
found his way
And that was
back anyway.
disappointing.
He found his way
Yeah,
back. But
yeah.
that was once he found his way back. He's on a minimum, so what I mean, ain't no big risk.
There you go. And that's
Uh,
what they're gonna have to do with Killian, because he was drafted first round 7th pick. So it's a
yeah,
slotted that's more money in that second contract because of how he was drafted.
right,
He gonna, that question mark by then, especially when that do come up, is you got Cade. Hey, that's if you don't play him and let him control the ball, something wrong with you.
right,
So now you got Cade in that position, and you say, okay, Sadiq, small forward, shooting guard, he can play all of those. Okay, who next? Now, if you really like, I don't know how they feeling, but the way they've been trying to point it, like Diallo is in the long-term plans, then you got to say, okay, now you adding all the players, and then you got to say, Killian, are you over any of these guys, or should we have you gotten to the point where we can say just no, I don't think they at that point. So then you got to let him go let another team try to sign him. If they don't, or he become in the G League, then you gotta say, hey, Killian, remember us? Come
Right.
on, get in the G League or something, or sign with us, and we'll let you for a lower contract. Because now you got to get him out that first round type of contract money,
Right. Right.
and that's the only way
Yeah.
we get him back. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we gonna see how that go.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not optimistic about it. Personally, I think they, it's the Cage show, so you know what I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
they need to operate like that. So you know what I mean, like
Yeah,
in a Cage driven offense, you gotta have shooters. You
gotta have some
keep
shooters.
waiting on can't keep waiting on Killian to figure that out. Like
Exactly.
we ain't got that type of time. So we ain't the
Yeah,
Lakers, so we can't just flip somebody and like we got to do it a
yeah,
whole different way. We got to draft somebody else, or you know what I mean, or hope we get somebody else in a trade. You know, throw in,
yeah.
something like that, somebody that can shoot.
Exactly.
Uh,
And see,
so
that's why I'm hoping. I think the one guy that's gonna force their hand if he continues to play as hard as he's been playing is Saban Lee.
yeah,
If Saban Lee continues to be that guy that can score and be a facilitator, because if they keep Casey, I know they trying to get him, they screaming fire Casey and all of this, but let that man coach. Casey likes 3-point guards or three handlers. So if you look at the way he wants to run his offense, Saban Lee fits perfectly like in the Van Fleet type mode.
right,
And you can still run the offense through Cade, but let Saban be a second distributor and a scorer. And you can actually put Sadiq Bey at the 3, and then that comes at the point of the draft if you actually can get Paolo or a power forward that's a scoring type power forward and rebounder. You might be able to leave Isaiah Stewart at the 5. That kind of
yeah,
can round it out. You know what I'm saying? Where Isaiah Stewart, instead of you demanding him score, he can be a Ben Wallace hustle energy type guy and not even worry about scoring, because now you got Cade and Saban and Sadiq and another Paulo or somebody. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping. That 4 guys capable of scoring 20 points on a given night, and he just gotta do that ground pound work ethic, just hustle and just make sure everything. If it's a loose ball, go get it. You know what I
right,
mean? So you can see some light at the end of the tunnel. It's just gonna be about 2 more years to that tunnel.
yeah,
It ain't this year.
right. No, definitely
Won't
not
be
this
this
year.
year.
Yep, yep, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to peek
They
out
they got a
there.
losing record like the Lions right now.
Pretty much, pretty much, man.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Trying to peek out here, see. Uh, Still got a couple viewers on. Uh, appreciate everybody tuning
Yeah.
in. Uh,
Appreciate y'all.
yeah,
And
well,
I'm going to cut you off, Jeff. I want to just tell anybody that viewing it, man, go ahead and talk y'all talk, man. But put the comments on. We're gonna react to comments. We're gonna post the comments up there. And we're gonna be part of it the same way. We ain't just here to just talk just us. We can talk sports all day, me and Jeff, but we want to, if y'all got questions or y'all want to change the topic, y'all say, man, they been talking about the Lions too long. We want to talk. Hey, go ahead and put that. Hey, say what you want to say in the comments. Tell us, you know, who, if you saw some sports that we ain't kick about, if we ain't say nothing about, go ahead and put that on there and we can shift the topic to that sport. This sports talk, Thawed sports talking, and anybody in the group know how we talking there. And
well,
it's
for
about the
sure,
same. So we talk that trash. You
for
know,
sure, for
I
sure.
don't care if you're a Michigan fan and you want that Michigan State head beat Michigan State the head beat you on the head. Go ahead and say it, cause we gonna talk it.
For sure. Hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. But we also about the NFL. What you thinking about now as sports in general though? Where you think we headed? You know, I want to say with the it's been more games shut down. with the COVID.
Yep.
I don't know where they're going with it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but it's just looking like I don't know because it's kind of confusing because you see the sports where we canceling more games, but then you see I think what it was Boeing or a lot of these jobs is not lifting their mandates for COVID to be able to work there now. So it's like certain areas they lifting like in the job force,
Mm.
but then in sports, even sports has because I think they have limited because the Kyrie Irving they letting him play now too. I just thought
Right.
about
Right.
that as a part-time player, even though I think he
Right.
ain't take the shot and he say I ain't taking it. They
Right.
letting him play as a part-time player.
Yeah.
What you think as far as that whole what's going on around the sports world with the COVID?
I think it's kind of the same as it is in the world, man. Like it's sadly it's driven more by politics than it is about actual health care and the state of the virus and where we are with variants and different things like that. Like it's not a conversation that's driven by medical professionals, what I mean, the people that could actually speak to the virus and what it's doing, uh what type of precautions we should be using. What I mean, that sadly throughout this pandemic, it hasn't been about the science of it all. It's been about the politics of it all. And that, of
Yeah,
course, when politics in the world, it seeps into sports. You know what I mean? So, you got owners and you got folks that, also delve into politics. So it kind of blurs the line. So
right.
you dealing with, just like the Kyrie thing, like, he can play part time. He just can't play in New York. Why? Because the politics in New York, they like, hey, you got to
Yeah,
be vaccinated or whatever. You know what I mean? So, politics and sports, as always, they kind of
go hand in
intertwine.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true, and it's a lot of politics with the COVID. So whether you believe in it or not, as far as what's going on with it, I'm not talking as far as life and death. Just where you might think the government taking it, sports is going to be included in that. So we of course as sports fans, we don't want to see it interrupted. But I mean, the more cases coming up, the more games being postponed, you almost got to brace yourself. Like, is it something more, or is it going somewhere else? 'Cause I think, right, what they just canceled. The Bulls, I think, had an outbreak where they canceled or they postponed two games with one with the Pistons and one with somebody else. I think it was
Hmm.
three more teams postponed. Um, so they want to keep going, but it's almost like something getting in the way. COVID, politics, money is having a battle right now.
Right, right. And that's the sad part about it. I mean, what I mean? Like there's a conversation to be had, as medically speaking about, what I mean, the virus and its effects and what's going on because, what I mean, and these hospitals are filling up.
Yeah,
What I mean? Like there are tangible things that should be reported. Like these hospitals are filling up and it is spiking in certain places. Like that can't be denied. But what I mean? That's when the politics comes in and what I mean? Like, and we've seen that from the very beginning. I mean, you
yeah.
think back to the very beginning, the very, very beginning, when they're, what I mean? Like even, the former President Trump shut everything down because it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
political at that point. It was just like, okay, we got something dangerous going on. We gotta shut this thing down.
Yeah.
And then the narrative changed. You know what I mean? And you had that situation where you know where you had a narrative come out that should have been a signal to really fix things. When they
Mm-hmm.
first started saying black people are getting it more than anybody, you would I think they put that out there naively thinking that people would actually care.
Yeah.
But it actually
Yeah.
went the other way. They were like,
It
okay,
went the
well,
other
black
way.
people are getting it. Oh no, we got to open it back up then. Like like
Yeah.
we forgot that we were a racist country for a minute. So then we got the reminder, like boom, like they're like, oh, black people getting it. Oh well, oh they can die. Like let's open this thing back up. We need our sport. I want to go to the bar. I need my burger.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we
Yep.
haven't stopped that since. That's why
Yep.
they're against everything now. Like masks. We ain't doing no mask mandates no
Ready to
more.
fight and
Keep this
shoot.
thing open. You know what I mean? Because they still think it's black people that's getting it the most. So they like, you know, or
Yeah.
they believe the former president when he was saying that it was just the flu. You know what I mean? Or these narratives like continue to circulate, and that's what's driving things now. People still don't take it that serious. They still think it's just a flu. They still, they still
Yeah.
like, well, people getting the shot and they still getting COVID. So what, so you got a
And
bunch of mismass
miscommunicate.
disinformation out there. And
Yep.
people thinking that when they got the shot that they wouldn't get COVID no more, which was never said.
Never
They
said.
just said that the bigger effects of it wouldn't affect you. Not that you would
Exactly.
never get it, but information, bad information travels fast. The truth really doesn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're dealing with
Yeah.
all of
And
that.
and it's like when you type up something and they read it a certain way when you didn't type it that way. You're like, wait a minute, what? What? I didn't type that.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It's one of the things where what I mean. I honestly I just avoid the conversation. Like people bring it up, I'll be like, you know what?
Oh yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it because I may think about it one way, you may think about it another way. I ain't got no energy for it. I'm just gonna do the things
Exactly.
that protect my family and my people, and you do what it is you do, man.
And that's
It's
almost
sad
how
that
you
it's
gotta
come
think
to
right
that.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad. It's sad is that's sad because I had a conversation with a guy at work one day, and he was like, "Hey, I'm vaccinated. I ain't wearing no mask." I'm like, man, I'm like, yes, sir. I ain't gonna even debate you with that one. I say,
Right.
but I ain't vaccinated, and I ain't tripping. I say, if you feel that way, just don't come in my face because you vaccinated, you can still have
Right.
it.
Yeah,
Maybe you
exactly.
didn't. It's like you want to tell them, hey, maybe you didn't read the fine print.
Right.
It don't mean you wasn't gonna get it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's kind of where that is, man. I just kind of leave it alone. You know what I mean? Me and my house, we gonna handle it a certain way, and we'll let people do what they
Yeah.
do. I just try to stay out their way, like stay out of my space. I'll stay out of yours.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt. We're gonna go ahead and switch that up because I'm hoping with the way things going with all of these, with the bowls, because I know for Michigan State, Kenneth Walker ain't gonna play in the Peach Bowl, and I
Right,
think Pickett ain't gonna play in the Peach Bowl.
right, right,
I don't know if who from Michigan. I'm quite sure all the Michigan players gonna play, uh, being at the stage that it's at.
right. So
Uh,
far, we ain't heard
yeah,
nothing
so
yet, but
far,
so far,
yeah, and you're hoping because right now you're hearing more of the COVID leaves in the NBA. I really ain't heard too many COVID leaves, and I'm hoping that we won't have it in them bowl games. You
right,
never
right,
know, because the bowl games is gonna be in some cities and packed, and so you're praying for everybody's safety as far as that everything go and everybody play, and you don't have no outbreaks or nobody, where you canceling or you this player ain't gonna play. Um, but besides, to that point, I know y'all getting ready for that Michigan uh that playoff game that just been a while for y'all. We can't rag on you no more about that.
yeah,
We can't rag on you about the Big Ten championship
yeah.
game no more. So I know that got to be a good feeling. I know
Oh
you don't
yeah,
want to hear state doing that. I know y'all hating
man, yeah, it was good to check them things off the list. Like, okay,
it.
uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel the same way. I hope that I know that this time of year, you got exams and different things like that. I
Oh yeah,
hope
yeah,
that they can just kind of keep their team kind of separated. You know what I mean?
exactly.
That way, you don't have. Hopefully, you don't have no breakout, but you never know. I mean, now you're in the
Yeah.
holiday season. Maybe players just go home. You know what I mean? Visit, family and come back, and you know what I mean. Like, it's very much a possibility that
Yeah,
somebody come
yeah.
back and they positive and they around a few players and you hope that don't happen, but you
Hmm.
almost kind of in this climate you damn near almost expect it. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
you
well,
got brace for it.
yeah, like when do they come back? And now you got to know when is that period that they have to be off, and can they come back at a certain time, and if they're positive, can they be off X amount of days and still be able to test negative and possibly be clear for the game.
Hmm.
Guess we'll see. Guess
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see
see on that. It's gonna be a interesting storyline. So we got to definitely
Yeah,
keep an eye on that. But
for sure.
we gonna change up one last subject probably before we get on off here. Um, we know recruiting. The signing day, early signing day period just went through.
Right.
Um, what as far as your class, Michigan's class, I know I did a little research on. I stay up on the Michigan State class,
Yeah.
and we missed a couple of big guys. But what you think of your Michigan's recruiting class?
It was pretty good. We pretty much felt like it was gonna be about a top 10 class. Um, Anywhere from 10 to 12, somewhere in there. We got a couple surprises or a couple cats that we were recruiting that kind of was going another way, and then we kind of benefited from some coaching changes. You know what I mean? When
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Cause y'all got a couple late four stars. I think it was a couple late 4 stars.
yeah, we got Sab from Clemson. Uh, he was all but going to Clemson, and then of course you have Venables that left and went to Oklahoma. That helped us. You know what I mean? Because he was a safety, and defensive coordinator left, so he like, hey, what I mean, he got to looking back around, and Michigan took advantage of that. We had a
Yeah,
couple of them. We had a wide receiver that was committed to Notre Dame. Then
yeah. I see y'all got
Brian
a bad
Kelly
wide
left.
receiver.
Yeah, Brian Kelly left. So that opened him back up, and we got back in that mix. So we had a couple of them, and then I think we had some that were kind of waiting to see what the season was going to look like. I think us beating Ohio State helped with our top guys.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, most
They were
definitely.
waiting to see, if we could take it to another level.
Yeah,
I think that game kind of shifted that. You know what I mean? Because of course, if we'd have lost, I think we'd have lost a few of them. They'd have.
oh
I
yeah,
think we might have lost somebody to Alabama or whatever.
yeah.
But so all in all, it was a good class, man. We pretty satisfied. Heavy secondary, heavy defense, which is always good. You gotta have at least a decent defense. So
Oh yeah, you got to.
we yeah. So
Yeah, it's and
what y'all looking like over there in East Lansing?
I mean they looking all right. Like I said, we would love to get that 5 star old tackle. Um, he chose
Was it
Kentucky.
Goodwin?
Yeah,
Was it
good one. I ain't
Keontae
saying no
Goodwin?
names
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
No,
I
much
know
love
we
to the
were
young
kind of
fella
peeking
now. I
at that
stay,
one too.
huh?
I know we were kind of peeking in on that. He came to the Ohio State Michigan game.
Yeah.
We was trying, but
Yeah, I seen a
uh,
couple pictures with him and Harbaugh and at Michigan Stadium when I was following his
yeah,
page and stuff. Big dude, man. And man, that's one when you look at him and be like, man, offensive tackle, bro. You
massive
know,
dude. He like 6'7", like 330. You know what I mean? Like,
man, bro. When I say a monster, bro.
yeah,
I think he. I think it said he listed at 6'8", but you're right, probably about 6'7". But I watched some of his high school highlights, bro. I seen him block a guy. The running back took off over his behind him, hit the sideline, juked the cat, boop boop, and was running down the sideline. And you look on the side and you see the offensive tackle running alongside with the running back all the way to the end
Yeah,
zone for like 60 yards. They was running,
yeah,
and that's what I showed my son. I said, look at this. I said that man's 6'8", about 340. I said, but look at his stride. He's been on he been trained in track, bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was striding. He was. I'm like this big, and he was running with the running back. He wasn't running back wasn't just left him. He was like right on the side of him, and the running back was running because still a dude in front of him.
Right.
So they running, and I think the Goodwin hit the dude and let the running back get in. But if you watch it for like 30, 40 yards, man, he was running. He was with him.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
definitely.
then, I said, Lord, we gotta get this guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a freak athlete. At that size, that weight.
Man, six
Yeah,
eight.
yeah, yeah. So unless he just playing, unless he just bomb out, he'll probably be playing on Sundays.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
If he don't
good
play
to
on
try to get
Sundays,
them type of
Kentucky.
guys.
If he don't play on Sunday, Kentucky might not get another recruit.
Man, yeah, yeah, they have to really, really mess that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, you know, so wouldn't
yeah.
be
So,
surprised if they plug him in right away. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, yeah. I can see it. I can see it because he got an aggressive. And you see him working. He hungry. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
ain't like he just like a big dude that. I was reading about him when he was 12 and 13 and his family, and so he determined. So much love to him. Keontae Goodwin. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? I believe that's a name to keep an eye out for Keontae Goodwin in the NFL draft. About I say what 3 years?
about 3
He gonna
years.
leave
Yeah,
early. As long
yeah.
early as he can, he probably gonna get up out of there.
hmm
Um, but even with the rest of our class, it was a good class. We was cornerback and safety heavy, which we definitely need. Um, I think overall it was one of our. I think D'Antonio best class was he had one top 20 class all the years that he had been there. And I think Tucker's first class was banging on top 20, but it ended up like 21.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But quality of the athletes was on that par. Plus the transfers he bringing in. He bringing in like 4 transfers.
Okay.
Bugle probably the top one. Uh, oh, but overall, it's a pretty good class. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And even with that, because I was looking at mostly the whole Big Ten, and we was talking about it earlier about Urban, and you look at Big Ten's recruiting right now. I think if I ain't mistaken, I think six of the Big Ten East is like right there in the top 2025.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State. I think Penn State got the best class they done ever. I think it was up there with the best class they ever had. You got
Yeah.
Ohio State, huh?
Yeah, they do. Penn State
Yeah,
got
they got a beast of a
they got a
class.
star. They got a star, 5-star quarterback that and Franklin never. That's his first 5-star quarterback. So
Yeah.
yeah, they raised their level, pretty high.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
kind of split. It's funny. You got you got the East they all was recruiting well. And then the West, like like it's like a whole clear difference, which
Yeah.
that's gonna bring realignment back into
In
the talk.
question.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah.
should,
Yeah.
because
But you know what? Last year the West had a pretty good class. They was last year. It's just this year. It's just you can see. I guess it's kind of like recruiting go. We both know recruiting is kind of not based on right now. It's based on what you did last year.
right.
Um. So the Iowas, like Iowa right now by going to the playoff. I mean not playoff, but Big Ten championship. They might have a better recruitment next year.
next year.
But
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, by what they did last year, they recruiting fell off. So did Wisconsin, so did Nebraska. Who else in there is Rutgers, I think it is. They didn't have
yeah,
that good of a years last year.
right,
And they recruiting showed it this year.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So we'll see.
yeah. And you know, last year, um, um, most of the East was pretty solid except for Michigan State at 2-5. Michigan was like I think 2 wins, two I think it was. Um, but
Yeah,
those were power names. The West doesn't have those. They don't got that brand type names nationwide to go through a bad season.
right.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And as far as state with Tucker, everybody kind of seen or if they can feel it. Like they was mentioning, I think Twitter mentions or social media mentions, like Michigan State was number 2 behind
yeah.
Alabama on the recruiting mentions that they kept track of. I
Okay,
think Michigan was like number 4 or 5, and Ohio State was right there too. So nationwide, the Big Ten was getting social media mentions like left and right, you know, right up there with the SEC. They were
right,
being
right.
mentioned and talked about heavy,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like the East teams. It wasn't the West.
Right,
So they
right.
got to do something about that.
Yeah, got to step it up. I think uh, the one that continues to surprise me is Nebraska. I just thought
Oh
that
yeah,
they would be
yeah,
better than they have been by now. And even this year, earlier in the year, they played everybody tough. They played everybody tough. It's like um I don't know, Scott Frost just can't quite
get over
just
it. Get
can't
over
quite
that hump.
get over there. Yeah, so I don't
They
know. He
kind of been a
going
disappointment since ever since Osborne, you know, when he retired, it's been a disappointment right when they put him in the Big Ten.
yeah. Well, I think they kind of well, number one, I think they fired a coach they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have fired Bo Pelini. They
Yeah,
started getting high on the hog, thinking they should win more than 9 games. Like winning 9 games in a league ain't something to be just sneeze at. Like,
exactly.
I'd rather stay at 9 wins and try to figure out how to get to 10 than fire that coach that's been consistent. You down at 5-6, trying to figure out how you can get back to 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they gotta understand continuity. If you keep
right.
getting rid of your coach every 3 years, that impacts your recruiting. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna impact you.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, and
of course
and
that was a conversation, with Michigan. You know what I mean? Like people were like,
yeah,
"Oh, we gotta
oh
get rid
yeah.
of Harbaugh." Okay, I understand. People
I
feel
was
like
kind of
maybe you know
we was kind of saying
underachieving a little bit, but
hey, Jeff, we was kind of saying you had all the Spartan fans like keep Harbaugh, hire him to a, but in back of their mind they was like get rid of this joker.
yeah, yeah, because it's gonna put your program into a tailspin.
Yeah,
Like,
oh yeah,
and will you get somebody better? Maybe. I don't know. It's a crapshoot. Uh,
yeah.
and even
But you
if you
can't keep
do,
firing them.
yeah. So even if you do, unless you hit a home run, which more than likely you're not,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to bring somebody in, and you're gonna have to try to build it up again. You're gonna be feeling some type of way about a 7-8 win season. You're like, oh, he ain't doing it quick enough. Like you're gonna be right back in the same cycle. Like you got to stick with somebody. You got to stick
Exactly.
with somebody. And yeah, you might
Exactly.
have a disappointing season, but stick it out.
Yeah,
Uh,
because you think about it, I think when Harbaugh was going through that a year ago, if
yeah,
they'd have fired that man about a year or two ago, y'all have been in the dumps right now.
yeah. We'd I don't know, whoever we'd have tried to hire, they
You'd
come
had to
in.
rebuild,
Do they have the same philosophy? Probably not. So now you switching
switching
personnel. You
philosophy.
you you know you It's not a quick fix. It's not the NFL where you can get a free agent or two and hitting the draft a couple ways and try to flip something like. It don't work like that in college, man. You got to rebuild a whole, you're going to try to bring in your own culture, which takes time to build. You know, you might have to get rid of some players that liked Harbaugh and don't like you. So
Mm-hmm.
now you got some cats in your locker room that, they throwing salt around. So you got to figure out who those players are and get them out of there, like Harbaugh had to do last year.
Yeah.
It, it's too many moving parts to be trying to, just, I know a lot of people be like, fire the coach, fire the coach. Like got to be a
That
little
ain't
bit more
always the
patient than
best
that.
case scenario.
Yeah,
No.
even if you're disappointed, And I used to, I would tell people like it's understandable. Like, Harbaugh is brought in. People thought, okay, he's gonna come in, he's gonna win 10, 11 games. He's gonna get to the Big Ten championship in 2, 3 years. Okay, that didn't happen. Okay, disappointment. Okay,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But stick it out, and
Yeah.
I think it was more of a a social media thing than a reality thing. People are like, Harbaugh's on the hot seat. That was a social media thing. You ain't hear nothing from the AD. You ain't hear
No.
nothing from none of them. They were like, nah, he ain't
Yeah.
on the hot seat. Like we disappointed like everybody else, but we gonna stick
But
it out.
that's usually where the hot seat come from is from the fans. When they say a coach on the hot seat, you ain't hear from the owner or the board of directors and none. You heard them from the fans.
Yeah, you ain't hear nothing from administration. Even when they were asked about it, they be like, "Yeah, we fine. Yeah, we disappointed. Yeah, we want to do better, but yeah, we'll be all right." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was no heat to it. You know what I mean? They ain't even, how you get the kiss of death. You know what I mean? When you get the, they say we support our
Exactly.
coach. You know what I mean? You ain't even get that. You know what I mean? Like, they were just like, we gonna work it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, we want to win the big games, and they just
Mm-hmm.
kind of blew it off.
Yeah.
That's why I was
And you
telling
see
people
what
like,
Eric has said too. You see
yeah,
what Eric Kaepernick. You see what he say up there, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's you gotta try to keep your coordinators, try to keep your coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tweak.
At
He
least
might tweak
try.
it.
Yeah, it's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to, what I mean? Like that's the one thing, like with this year, you win the Big Ten championship, what I mean, you in the playoff, teams out there, they gonna wanna poach somebody, you know what I mean? So you ain't gonna
Mm-hmm.
expect Gaddis to be around 5 years, you know what I mean? That ain't gonna happen. Like somebody, if we continue to play decent football, somebody gonna give him a shot. Somebody gonna, poach your coaches. You know what I mean? And he gonna have to go find more coaches. You know what I mean? That happens. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you can, you try to keep your coaches as long as possible. Keep some
Exactly.
continuity.
Yeah, continuity is big. I mean, it's big for the recruits to know that the coach gonna be there. If I'm gonna commit there for 3 to 4 years, man, is the coach gonna be there? Because
Right. Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
players, as much as the brand in the school means a lot, but also coaching is probably I'd say 60 to 70% of it. If a lot of these players they going there because of Harbaugh, not and a little bit of it might, not even say a little bit, but a lot of it might be for Michigan. But the main thing is gonna be who the coach. And if you got Harbaugh as the coach, or you got, let's say, Michigan State with Tucker, I'm going there because I like the coach's direction with this school. You get rid of your coach, and I don't know who the next coach is, you're gonna see a lot more transfers or a lot more people saying, or parents saying, I don't know, you better think about this decision, son. Do you really want? And if they do say out of that 30 or 40%, hey, I just love the school. I don't care if we win 5 games and we struggle for a couple years with a new coach. It ain't too many players really just gonna do that unless it was their dream school.
Right. Right. Yep. So it'll be interesting, man, to see the rest of the playoffs play out, and then before long, we'll be swinging right back around the spring, and
Exactly.
we'll be starting a whole another year of quarterback controversies, and yeah, camp battles and everything else, man. And which
Yeah.
I love it, man. That's
And,
that's the
and
draw of college football.
And matter of fact, as far as speaking about that, what you were saying, the battles, what you thinking? I know we're supposed to end on that one last topic, but one more on there. Uh, I know because we both our schools always battle them. Is what you thinking about the situation with Urban Meyer?
Uh,
You know he got fired.
Expected. It is
Yeah,
expected, man. I never thought that it would work out at the pro level. I certain coaches, most coaches, you know what I mean, that are college coaches aren't pro coaches, man. Um,
yeah.
it's a different whole dynamic. Like, at the college level, the coach is God. You know what I mean? He runs the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like shit, the athletic director really can't tell him what to do. Really, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? If he got the boosters on his side, what the AD gonna do? So,
There you go.
but now you go to the NFL, your quarterback make more than you. You know what I mean? Like like how am I really gonna, like you're really managing the team. You ain't running it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And you're only managing it if they like you. If they
yeah.
don't like you, your days are numbered. So
Exactly.
you don't really run the show. Like
Because
you got
you still gotta.
15 players on the team that make more than you.
Yeah, the
Like
team. Plus, you got the general manager. Unless you lucky to get the coach, the general manager spot, you still got to be.
right,
You got probably about six people ahead of you. General manager, you not, and then the owner, and then you got probably, you got probably about two or three in between the owner and the general manager that still tell you, hey, I ain't like that.
right, right. Yeah, you got yeah, you so it's just a whole different dynamic. I knew that it really wasn't gonna work out. But you know what I mean? Uh, all that being said, uh he'll probably go to the booth this year, you know what I mean, and announce some games. They'll get him back on in the booth and
Yeah,
somebody going, you know what I mean? I can't take nothing away from him as a college coach. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He one of the greatest in the college game, and
true.
somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody's gonna, pull him back
Check.
out, dust him
Oh
off.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
If Sarkeesian don't work out at Texas, guess what?
They gonna cut.
Urban gonna get a call.
Yep.
So,
He always got a job, boy. And if he's in a wheelchair and 70, 80 years old, they still might call him. How
oh
you
man,
feel about this job?
he gonna get a call from somebody. If Marcus Freeman don't work out at ND, he gonna get a call.
Yep.
The major programs that because he got a certain profile. He can cherry pick the job he want. He ain't gonna just go to anywhere. You know what I mean?
Nah.
So
He
he can
can
sit
pick
back and
whatever.
wait. Yeah, he got a big. I'm pretty sure he's getting a big buyout to go away.
Yep.
He got a big buyout from OSU. He got a big buyout. You know what I mean? Like he ain't hurt for no money. So and then they gonna
Nah.
pay him well in the booth. He's just gonna sit back and wait, just like he did this time. Like
Yep.
and he gonna wait on that phone to ring. One of the majors gonna call him. You know what I mean? If Lincoln Riley don't work out at USC, like
Yep.
one of them
And
big jobs.
I feel. You said you seen it. I seen it when he was grabbing booties in the club, though.
To me, it was even earlier than that. When he signed Tim Tebow to be a tight end, I'm like,
Oh man.
only a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't do
Yeah.
that. Like he pulled it like I think Steve Spurrier did that mess too. When he got a pro job, he signed Danny Werfel or somebody, and a couple of former Florida cats that wasn't even pro players. He wanted a couple of them on and it didn't last. So he did the
Yeah.
same kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's wild. We gonna go ahead and end it on that Urban Meyer one. Uh
okay,
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and what is it, 7:39? Where I'm at. It's like
yeah,
6:30 there.
yeah. Well, it's 8:30 here.
I mean
We an hour
8:30, yeah,
behind
yeah,
y'all. Yeah.
yeah. 8:30.
So
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and you know, do what we do. We both married men and raising kids, and we also do a lot of creative stuff. So We appreciate everybody that done tuned in and that will tune in. Definitely appreciate the support, and if you can, man, show that extra by sharing. It don't take much. It ain't asking for a dime. Just go ahead and share it. If you know, just one time, just go ahead and share it and say, "Hey, I'm just sharing it." That's major love. So we appreciate any love that you showing, no matter how it go. We appreciate the comments, views, um, and we be on next Saturday. If you come in, man, say something. Go and put a comment in. Comment in. You've been watching. There's a lot of sports people out there. So don't be shy about it. Go and talk it. Put it in the comments. Spit it. You know what I'm saying? If you got a diss, you want to troll. Hey, that's what we come from the group of. So
For sure, for sure.
yeah. So much love. You got anything to leave them with, Jeff?
Man, just want to thank everybody for tuning in, for liking, sharing, you know what I mean, showing your support in many different ways, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in and giving us a little bit of y'all time on a Saturday. I know me personally, you know what I mean, this is downtime for me off work, so you know what I mean, we appreciate, you could choose to do many other things, but you chose to rock with us, man. We appreciate it. Hope to see y'all next Saturday, man. You know, by then, we'll check back in with you Lakers, and you Brian fan, and all the rest, man. But we appreciate y'all.
No doubt. Salute. And make sure to check out Tuesdays at 10 too. We got the next part of the series, the second part of the series. So we keeping that going. So
Yes, sir.
salute. We appreciate y'all and much love.
Much love.
All right.
All right. See y'all soon.